sort of thing.
Right.
How do we get those people in the loop? He's from LA, and it was Chinese delegates that he brought down.
Okay. Well, look, if you have his name, Councillor Webster, I'm happy to...
Steve might, because he put me onto it. But, you know, there's opportunities there.
Yes, absolutely. And we will contact him for sure. That sounds like a great lead. Just on that point, the LA delegation arrives on Friday the 13th of May, and they are going to Matakana on Saturday.
Oh, goody gums.
And that will include going to the market, and Richard Didsbury is going to host them at Brick Bay. The following day they go to Waiheke. So that expenditure over those 2 days will, you know, help to make this event cost neutral.
I might have to contact Richard.
Thank you, Councillor Webster. Councillor Cooper.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We had a report back after the last tripartite in LA from businesses who had made connections and actually got more contracts and maybe set up offices in LA and things like that. Is there any further update available on the kinds of opportunities that were created out of that summit, and I guess will happen here in 2 or 3 weeks?
Yes, Councillor Cooper, there are, we did evaluations at the time, which were reported on, and then we've kept in touch with those companies that went up. We call them an alumni group. So we have examples of, say, HRV, which did a deal with a Chinese company. Flux Animation did some deals in Los Angeles and is working with Disney on some new projects. Another company, Immersia, is also established itself in LA. So we're keeping in contact with those companies, and it's more anecdotal. We do have a full program to be able to evaluate the success of this event, which involves evaluation immediately afterwards through questionnaire, a 6-month follow-up, and then on the day we have people that will be collecting information and putting it into the ATED CRM around connections made or things to follow up.
Okay, and so, Madam Chair, will that include things like, you know, if there's been extra employment? I mean, some might be commercially sensitive, but things like, you know, how much increase in business they've received, you know, those types of things, how it can actually, showing how it actually benefits Aucklanders?
It is often difficult to extract quantifiable data out of these companies, and so it's a matter of trying to build relationships with them, which we do through our AT business advisors, through the local boards, relationships, to get them to share what we're doing. But you know, we have done this economic analysis through our Auckland Conventions Bureau tool that they use, and that accounts for extra spend, and we'll look at other measures.
Because I mean, I guess spending in the moment, but the long-term economic benefits for Auckland is kind of what I'm interested in. And I'm really clear, you know, as we heard, there were quite a few businesses that reported back to us and said, look, I've been able to, you know, employ more people, I'm selling more stuff, you know, services, goods. And so, I mean, it's clearly happening, but it would be great to be able to say, look, hey, this much more employment, paying this much more tax, opening a bigger business, etc., so that people can see that our council's investment is really paying off.
Yes, and we'll be working very hard to extract those examples. One example is Huhu Studios, who, you know, signed an agreement last week, but they're also signing another agreement here with Guangzhou, and they have articulated how many more jobs are going to be as a result of these agreements with China.
Fantastic, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Cooper. Councillor Cashman.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Councillor Cooper covered off one of my questions. The second one would be, the mayors of both Guangzhou and LA are attending, Pat?
At this stage, yes.
Okay, good. One of the things we learnt from Los Angeles was a connectivity with the Los Angeles people was easy. With the people from Guangzhou, it was hard because of the lack of interpreters. So have we been able to solve some of those issues?
Good question, Councillor Cashmore. Yes, we're bringing down 4 translators from Guangzhou who will do simultaneous translation at the event. We've engaged the Confucius Institute at the University of Auckland, and we'll have 15 Mandarin Cantonese speakers. And those speakers will do ear-to-mouth translation in the breakout sessions, but also we'll have the Cantonese speakers in the business matching lounge. So, and people will be identified on their lanyards as to whether they can speak Mandarin or vice versa. So,
Cool.
yes, it's...
It's really good news, Ben, because I think we lost an opportunity last time because there's so much interaction goes on in between the sessions where people say, well, I manufacture furniture and I retail furniture from Guangzhou and stuff, and to get those people together, that's the secret. So that interpreter is absolutely critical for that.
Just one other point on that, Councillor Cashmore. When people register and they list what their business is and what they're interested in, so the Chinese delegates have done that as well, and that's good background information to have before going into the...
Okay. So I presume some sort of colour coding to identify your like-type businesses, then yeah, perfect. That's a big step forward. So congratulations on the work, congratulations on the number of delegates, number of Auckland companies involved, actually.
Yesterday it was 165, and registrations went up 25 overnight, so I guess that's climbed. You know, we're reaching for 200 Auckland businesses.
That's a great success. Well done to you both and to AT. This program is going from strength to strength, and it's very hard to quantify the actual dollars, but when you go to the alumni that Denise and I have been to post the tripartite in LA, you actually saw the buzz that those businesses were feeling, the CEs of those businesses, and how they had grown, and you heard in-house how their businesses had benefited. So strongly supportive.
Thank you, Councillor Cashmore. Yes, ask Queenstown whether contacting Amway and saying how that coming down here as a reward group was worthwhile or not. I think it's probably fairly clear. Councillor Stewart.
Yes, thank you. I was just wondering, how have you gone about inviting Auckland businesses to register?
Councillor Stewart, we have started with the alumni group that went last year. We've worked with Callaghan Innovation and NZTE and the AT Business Services teams to identify the companies in the sectors of most interest. We've talked to the Chamber of Commerce and AmCham and EMA and NZCTA and other Chinese organisations to invite their members. And so we've got a list of around 800 Auckland companies that have been specifically invited. Then you've also got the sponsors, so BNZ Bank are inviting 60 of their companies, and I'm trying to think of the other sponsors, but the other sponsors as well are inviting clients as well. It's an invitation only. It's very easy to get in though. You just have to register your interest, and there is going to be publicity next week in the Herald around the summit, and that will generate even more interest, we believe.
Yeah, I was just hoping that. I'm just thinking of a company, Councillor Quacks and I visited a couple of weeks ago, Howick Limited, who is an innovation, and they, back in 2011, they actually won an award, one of our...
I know them, yes. Yes, they should be
so
there.
They are somebody that should certainly be invited.
They absolutely
so
should. Look, I'll make a note and we'll have a look to see if they are there or not, and make sure they're invited.
They actually, you know, they're from Howick, and they supply in Russia, China, Singapore, you know.
50, they export to 59 countries.
59, yeah, and they are just an amazing company.
Yes.
And I think
There's heaps
sometimes
ourselves.
we forget about those that we've actually awarded ourselves. So I would hope that they would be very high on the list. Thank you.
Thank you, yes.
Thank you, Councillor Stewart. Okay, no other questions? I would like to move that we receive your report and that we thank you. Thank you, Councillor Fletcher. This is excellent work. Look forward to results. Thank you both.
Thank you.
And our final formal item is item number 12, and Marguerite, Warwick.